Hello and welcome to a brief training session on how to use Adobe Connect to create a web lesson. So when you first enter your web lesson room, you'll notice that you'll get a screen that will be quite similar to this. You'll have a bar across the top with various headings, and you'll also have a bar across the side. So what I want to do today is I want to set up my classroom space. So first thing I'll do is I'll go click on the icon down here which says add layout. So I'll create a new layout. So I click on that and then I want to label it. So I am going to create a new blank layout and I'm going to call it Web Lesson Training. Then I'll click OK and you'll notice that I'll get a new icon over here on the right hand side. Next thing that I want to do is I want to start putting things into my room, and how we do that is we use things called pods. So we'll go up to the top hand corner and we'll click on the drop down menu for pods. I'll click on that, and the first thing that is vital to add to your web lesson room is your attendees list. This attendees list is where we keep track of the students that have entered the room and also students that may be asking questions or that may be talking and using their microphone. So I'll click on that one and I'll get a little pop-up that will come up anywhere on the screen, maybe in the top hand left, maybe in the middle, but I actually want to move this to go over on my right hand side. So what I do is I click on the top bar of the pod and I'll drag it across, and I can also spend a bit of time resizing it, making it bigger, smaller, or whatever it needs. So I'm going to make mine to sit like that. The next thing that we want to add is a chat box. Okay, that's where the students will share it and ask questions for you, and then also they might be answering questions for you in that chat box. So again, I'll go up to my pod session, my pod drop down menu up on the top here. I'll click down to chat and I'll click add new chat. You need to make sure that you do add a new chat each time you have a new lesson, otherwise you'll get the same conversation from a previous web lesson or maybe another teacher's session that they had with a student. So again, I click on the top of the bar to move it around, and then I also spend a bit of time resizing it to make my room look better organized. Next thing that I want to do is I actually want to spend a bit of time labeling my pods so I don't get confused when I go to the next time I do a web lesson. So I'll go up to pods, I'll click on manage pods, I'll get a pop-up window, and then I need to select the pod that I want to name. So the one I just created was chat number 5. I'll click on that and then I'll click rename, and then I'm going to say training session 1. Done. And you'll now notice that when I've done that, if I go over here, you'll see that my chat box has changed its name to training session 1. Now that I've done the basic things such as adding attendee box and chat, I'm now going to want to share things with my students. Maybe I want to share a worksheet, maybe I want to share some images, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So we'll head up to the top of the page again, we'll go to our pods, and the one we want to use is our share pod, and we want to do add new share. When I click that, you'll get a big screen that will come through, a big pod I should say, that will fill up there, and it'll have this icon in the middle of the page. Click on the drop down arrow to the side, and we want to share a document. We don't actually want to share our screen, and we don't want to use a whiteboard. We just want to share a document for this case. So I'll click on that, and you'll get into this page here which has everything that I've shared previously in this web lesson. I actually want to find a new one, so I'm going to browse my computer. So I'll click on browse my computer, and it'll take me to my desktop or whatever was the last file you might have been using, and I have it here, which is a photography unit that I want to share with my Year 11 students. So I'll click on that. Whenever you want to share something in Adobe Connect, it needs to be a PDF, a PowerPoint, or a JPEG. And you need to make sure that it is saved as a PDF. It doesn't share Word documents unless they become a PDF. So I click on that one, and then I'll go open, and then you'll notice that it will be starting to load into our web lesson. And there we have it. Now I'll spend a bit of time resizing that by clicking on the side of the pod and getting a cross arrow. I'll make it a little bit smaller, I'll also make sure that my writing is wider, so I can make it bigger or smaller, depending on what I want to do. This icon is quite good, fit width, because I'll make it the width that they can see. And then I can scroll through the document during my lesson if I wanted to talk about certain parts and certain aspects. Next thing that I want to do is I want to add an image to the document. Oh, not to the document, to the web lesson. So I click Pods. I'm going to click Share again, and I'm going to click Add New Share. Again, I'll get this page like this, and then I'll click down here on the drop-down menu, and I will find the document that I want to share. So again, I've got all the things that I've shared in the past, but again, I want to find a new image. So I'll go to the file before, I'll find it, I'll click Open, and there, it will be imported into my web lesson space. And I will spend a bit of time resizing it by using the cross arrows. I'll move it up to a certain part of my page, and there we have it. I'll do that one more time. I'll share another image in this web lesson space. I'll go to Pods, I'll go to Share, I'll go Add New Share, and now I've got a new pod that's come up in my web lesson space. I'll click on here, Share Document, back to Browse My Computer, and this time I'll click on a new image that I want to share. And there we have it. Again, I'll spend a bit of time resizing it to make it fit better in the space. There we go. And there you have it. That's a very basic web lesson layout that you can use for students to talk about various things.